Next.
How's everyone doing today? It's Tipster Gamers, and today we are going to be giving you guys the best gameplay sliders for Madden 23 franchise mode. We're going to light it up. Simple as that. So let's see if we can get this video to 300 likes. Let's see if you guys have what it takes. Also, comment down below something cool. I don't know. I don't have any ideas, but something cool. And we did have very good simulation results with the playoff games. We actually came very close to quite a few games. Some we were off, but that's because we can't predict injuries, and when certain things happen, you know, there's different variables that you just can't account for with your sliders. So I want you guys to understand that. But we had very good games called with our sliders, and we were very impressed. All right, so we will start out at player skill, go down the list, and some of them will, you know, talk in depth on, some we won't, just because it's the sweet spot. If you have any questions, leave us a comment down below. So 45 on QB accuracy. It's a sweet spot, nothing too crazy, and, you know, nothing too bad either. So it's right in the sweet spot. Pass blocking's a 50. The problem with pass blocking is not really to do with the slider itself. It's to do with the actual engine that they're utilizing for this. They'll let a guy run right by his face. Like, as he's staring at him, he'll just look at him, and then he's running right by his face. And Madden just needs to just update and rehaul the entire system on that, because it's, no matter how much they seem to patch it and they keep adding new slogans how good it is at pass blocking, it just seems like it's just behind the times. Wide receiver catching 45, you'll still have elite catches, but it's not going to be so consistent that it's insane. Run blocking's at 52. And for the CPU, run blocking is not really the problem. It's the actual running back that's the issue, because the running back, regardless if he had a 99 ball carrier vision, his ball carrier vision will always be suspect to being terrible. Fumbles at 56, nothing too crazy. But still, we wanted to up that because it was a little bit more realistic for us, and we enjoyed that. The pass defense reaction time we put at 63. The reaction time in general, Madden, when we're speaking just generalized, is so bad. Particularly on curl routes. You'll see the wide receiver do a curl. He'll be sitting there for 5 months. Quarterback will finally see him, throw the ball to him, and the cornerback will be right behind him the entire time and just let him catch it. And it's so bad. Interceptions, they just play too much volleyball in Madden 23. It's like constant volleyball, and the interceptions just really needed to be squished up because they were bad. I mean, you're seeing 2 Hall of Famers, particularly when you're talking user or CPU to CPU. You're seeing 2 Hall of Famers throw ungodly amounts of interceptions. And it's just really uncharacteristic of real life. Pass coverage, we got at 60 because the pass coverage is just not that great. It just isn't. Tackling, we got at 54. And all of these here we found were just the sweet spot. We liked it, and we feel comfortable with it moving forward. All right, so let's go over the CPU skill at this moment in time. Now, this is the best for realistic simulation leagues. There's no doubt about that. But what I want you guys to also understand is that playbooks are slightly different. There are playbooks that are overpowered in Madden 23, especially in simulation. They are overpowered, and if you have the right players and the right schemes, and I say schemes because if you fill those playbooks with the right schemes, aka the right players, then you're going to do very well. You know, last year we dropped 100 on some team with our Falcons rebuild, and it doesn't matter what our sliders were. That team was going to get pumbleized by at least 80. Okay, it just doesn't matter. So just know that, yes, this is the most realistic, but you are going to come across certain playbooks and schemes with the right players that are going to simply dominate. Okay, and that's just the way it is. Of course, they're not going to be perfect. They'll lose at times, and you'll be shocked. But other times, you'll be shocked because you're like, how many points did they put up? And it could be pretty ridiculous. QB accuracy, we got at 45. Pass blocking, we got at 40. If your offensive line is really struggling this, because your offensive line's probably not that good. Okay, so it's a good indication to know if your offensive line is good or not. You're not going to see, at times, you'll see a lot of sacks. But then other times, too, you're not going to see, like, you know, a crazy amount of sacks. Remember, too, Joe Burrow got sacked, 7 to 9 times in the playoff game? There are times where that happens. And I was talking last year, not this year. I don't know how many times he got sacked this year. But it does happen. So it's not unrealistic to see a game where guys just pop off on the quarterback. All right, so pass blocking is at 40. Wide receiver catching at 44. Run blocking is at 60. Now, what I got to tell you about this is This is simulation, all right? This is a different beast. And just because your run blocking may be at 60 does not mean your running back is going to read the holes better. Okay, I want you to separate the two. That's on Madden. Even if you have a 99 ball carry vision running back, and he's not hitting the hole, he's running straight to a meat pile, that's on Madden. That's just Madden's system because their system sucks. All right, so fumbles, 56. Pass defense reaction time, we got at 63. Interception, 6. You guys already know why we put these at what we put them, because it's just ridiculous. And even though you put the interceptions at 6, you're still going to see interceptions, 1 to 2 a game. Perhaps, it just depends on the situation, the team, and what have you. There's a lot of different variables. And it's also hard because you can't turn them up too high, and you'll still see like guys that'll get hit in the head with the ball and they won't pick the ball. I mean, it's just so strange. There's no happy medium. 1 minute he's getting hit in the head, square right in the face mask, didn't even put up his hands to pick the ball. And then next thing you know, the guy will make a leaping jump and pick the ball an inch off the ground with one hand, and you're like, how did you do that? I mean, there's no happy medium. It's weird, so we turned it down to 6 because the interceptions were just getting ridiculous. Pass coverage, 52, because the coverage you don't want to keep it at 50. It's not good. 52 is our cutoff at this moment. Tackling, we got at 45, and then we're going to move on to special teams. Let's talk about these special teams here going on. We got 55 for field goal power, field goal accuracy, 48, punt power, 55, punt accuracy, 60. Kickoff power, we got 50. Now, I don't want to go over these because I don't want to go over them. Okay, moving on. You can also pause the video, and then you can go to our site as well and see those. So the game options, injuries, we have a 22 because the injuries just get ridiculous. There's plenty of times in a simulation league where we've injured up to 4 linemen in multiple games. Okay, and that's just ridiculous when you just see them start to drop like flies. I understand our team's beastly. I get all that, but at some point in time, it just gets to ridiculousness. On Fast Sim, you'll notice that there'll be a big amount of injuries, and it's like more of a one-off. You're not going to have that every single year. Sometimes you might, and it's just you're unlucky, right? Or you're doing wrong things with your training and what have you. There's a lot you could be doing wrong. Okay, so there is that. The other thing is when you're slow simming, you're going to see more injuries quicker, and it just gets to a point of insanity. Okay, so turn those down. Fatigue, we got at 45. Now, the minimum player speed threshold, we have at 0. They're making the game slower. They used to have a setting in the game to where you could turn the gameplay speed to very fast. Now it's not existent anymore. They're commercializing the game so everyone and their grandmother can play, and they're slowing it down to the nth degree, to the best of their ability. And even running backs were just so slow, and last year was terrible. This year it's got a little bit better. But still, you don't want an 85 speed guy running down a 95 speed guy with bad angles. Okay, that's unacceptable to me. I don't like that, and I think speed should matter. So 0. The speed disparity needs to be there, and it also helps with strategy, which also makes it more realistic. All right, we're going to go over penalties now. Let's go over these penalties. What's up, penalties? 60 for offsides. You're not going to see it happen all that much, but still better than never seeing it ever. False start, 55. The other thing you guys need to understand about this is if you're in simulation, if you're playing the CPU, if you start beating up on the quarterback a lot and getting a lot of sacks, a lot of pressures, you're going to have a greater chance of seeing offensive lineman false start. Okay, that's just what you'll see because the offensive lineman's prepared. He's getting his butt kicked, and you will see that. All right, that does happen. All right, so just know that, but, it's not going to make it to where it's just so ridiculous that it just, drives you nuts. Holding, we got a 55. Face mask, 50. Defensive pass interference, we got at 60. You don't really see it too much in Madden. It's pretty frustrating unless your user skills are really, just not great and you're just running into guys. But also there's times where it's called and it's just ridiculous, but welcome to real life as well. That's how it is. A lot of subjective calls, I would say. Anyways, moving on. Illegal block in the back, 55. I can't even remember a time I've seen this in Madden. I cannot account for a time I've seen this in Madden. I'm sure I've seen it, just can't account for it. Now, intentional grounding, all the offensive pass interference, the kick catch interference, we have it all on. Okay, roughing the passer, we got at 43, and then roughing the kicker, We got it. All of this stuff we got on. Now, this is for simulation, not user play. You can, kind of model this for user play if you really wanted to. It's up to you guys. The world's your oyster. Quarter length, we have a 15 minutes, 15-minute quarters. And it's something we like. Slow sim, it makes the game just a little bit better. You can drop that down or what have you. But in fast sim, it's not really going to matter all that much. All right, so accelerated clock. We have that on. And we have the minimum play clock set to 14 seconds. And this is because there's way too much time majority of the time where the team goes up and sitting there with, forever. And they can just do all these audibles, do all these things. No, it needs to be rushed a little bit more. Teams don't usually have that much time that they do if you have accelerated clock off and the minimum play clock to the regular time.